Another hearing next hour. Sebelius is tomorrow. South Dakota Senator John Thune is here today. He's on the committee that will question the secretary, and he's also chairman of the Senate Republican Conference. How are you, sir? And good morning to you.
Good morning, Bill.
What do you want to know?
Well, first, I mean, everybody wants to know what they're going to do about fixing the website, but as the president has said, this isn't just a website, it's much more. I think what most of us on the committee want to know is what are they going to do for the millions of Americans that are getting cancellation notices and the sticker shock that's now coming with the increases in premiums that a lot of Americans are experiencing. These are problems that are fundamental to this law. And I think that the administration needs to come forward with straightforward, honest answers, not dancing around it, not trying to reinvent what they said years ago. The president's made it very clear over time that if you like your plan, you can keep it. Right now, what we're finding out, Bill, is that only if the White House likes your plan can you keep it. If you like your plan, in all likelihood, you could very well lose it, which is what's happening to millions of Americans.
Do you think Kathleen Sebelius should keep her job?
Well, I think I'm anxious to hear from her tomorrow. We've got a number of my colleagues who have called for her resignation, but I would say this, somebody has to be held accountable. And she says, I'm accountable, don't blame somebody else. Well, if you're accountable, this website has been a disaster. But it's not just that. There are problems, as I said, fundamentally with this law that can't be fixed simply by having an IT specialist come in and try and fix the website.
But is that specific question on your list, or have you even thought about that yet?
It will get asked. It will get asked.
From you or from someone on
I will
on
have,
panel?
if not from me, from colleagues on the panel,
you know,
for sure.
Last week that hearing was hot in the House. I don't know, is the tenor the same on the Senate side? Or, I mean, you got Republicans and Democrats, some Democrats up for re-election in 2014. I mean, well, they're going to want to answer the people back at home that are probably lighting up their phone every day.
They are, and there are Democrats who are increasingly nervous about this, which is why you're seeing more and more of them starting to talk about, well, maybe we ought to delay this. Maybe we ought to do for all of the American people what we've already done for employers, for big businesses. But there will be, I think it will be very contentious, because there is a lot of frustration that members of Congress, and now you saw it last week in the House, but in the Senate as well, that they're going to try and voice the pent-up frustration that many of their constituents are feeling. So I think you'll for sure see that from Republicans on the panel, but I think you'll see it from some Democrats too, Bill, because there are lots of Democrats that are increasingly worried about the rollout and everything that's come since and how that might impact particularly those who are running for re-election in 2014.
I don't know what she can say that's going to satisfy you or anybody else. Marilyn Tavenner testifies in an hour, and she also testified a week ago. She's in charge of the website right now under the Health and Human Services Secretary. She's going to say a lot's changed in a week. By the end of November, we should be up and going. Things should be smooth by then. We've doubled the number of servers in a week's time. Are any of these answers satisfactory? I mean, listen, you get in your meetings, or you go home at night, or do you ever stop and think, what in the world were they thinking? When they started one of the most significant startup companies from scratch that the world has ever known, and this is what we get a month later? What do you think about that?
Well, here's the problem with all of this, Bill, is this is what happens when you get political control of 1/6 of the economy. This is a command and control, big government solution where government takes over 1/6 of the economy. It doesn't work. Government here in Washington doesn't do complicated things well. And this is built on a faulty foundation. So you're right. I mean, it's going to be very hard for them to fix this absent calling for some sort of a delay, which I think they ought to do. I mean, I don't think they can fix the fundamental problems with this, the cancellation notices, the premium increases. It's not just a website problem. The website eventually will get fixed, but these other problems are going to go on for a long time, and they're going to hurt a lot of Americans.
10 a.m. tomorrow. We'll be watching it from here. Senator John Thune, thank you, sir. Many more
Thanks,
questions
Bill.
to come. Thank you. Martha.